Instagram.
And nice little intro going.
Hefty Podcast, Be Nice. It's live on YouTube and being recorded.
All right.
You can tune on YouTube.
Yes.
So,
Welcome, Hefty Podcast. How you guys doing out there? It's E-Nice. The first video cast for my podcast. I usually do strictly audio.
oh!
So this is the first, and I appreciate M-80 being my guest tonight, being the first guest on the live cast. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How do you do?
I'm all right, man. I've been anticipating this day for about a few weeks. It's awesome.
Sweet.
I'm glad we actually connected and got to get this done because I have so many questions and I like to learn stuff. So
Okay.
the main gist of the podcast is I like to talk to people who have different interests in life, different views in life, and doing different things. So I like to learn. I'm a generalist, and just tell me, give me information. I like to learn. Like people
I'll
out there
start
like to
off
learn
by saying
stuff.
this. I went to Mercedes recently to have a Schedule A maintenance done on the Maybach. And there was a salesman out there. He goes, "What year is your Maybach?" I said, "A 2022. He's like, "Ha, that's nothing. I should put you in one of these new 2024s. I said, "Hey, man, have you ever had 4 chicks suck your dick at the same time?" He said, "No." I said, "Don't talk to me."
Jesus Christ.
And that's how we begin
hilarious.
a Hefty Podcast with E-Nice.
Oh, that's freaking awesome.
Thank you.
Again, I appreciate you being here, man. It's awesome.
Appreciate it, sir.
So some
I'm
simple
happy
things
to be
quick.
here, man. I love giving my game.
And that's awesome. We're going to get into that a little bit later. I'll remind myself. I wrote some notes down and stuff, some questions and stuff to get into. But real quick, real simple, how's the family life? I don't know if that's your firstborn. I follow you on
This is
Insta.
my firstborn, and she turns 2 on Sunday. We're going to have a birthday
How's
party
that?
tomorrow. We're just getting the house in order. Whew.
Nice. How's the dad life?
It's awesome. I'm a napping guy. I've learned to nap. I don't have a consistent sleep schedule.
Yeah. Do you nap when she naps? Let's take advantage of that.
That's the recommendation. It doesn't always work out like that, though.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 3 myself, so
Wow.
that was my thing. If they were napping and I'm home,
I can hear her
nap.
crying in the
Okay,
next room, which means my nanny's not really doing her job.
Uh-oh. Gotta get on it.
Yeah, come on, nanny.
All right. First things first, man. Congrats on this new Rakim album you got coming out.
Thank you.
Another simple question: how did that come about? How did Rakim come to you? You go to him? Like, how did that kind of stuff work?
I've never told the story before. In 2018, when I dropped Ghostface Killer: The Lost Tapes, there's so much to talk about that album. I think it's the best Ghostface album in the past decade, and that's no slight to Ghost or anyone else that's made one of the records. I just think my shit's the best. That was the first time I made an album that was only available in limited edition physicals. Okay, we did many different issues of it, and we had many different color variants of vinyls and CDs and cassettes and things of that nature. But the album lives digitally online for the world. But it's like if you got, say, the glow-in-the-dark version of the vinyl, you're one of 250 people. If you got the gold edition, you're one of 500 people. And we're talking about an artist who has 1 million fans. So that was the first time I ever worked like a limited edition product, and I learned that whole game from Huss Kingpin. Rakim was a fan of the Ghostface album. So I met with, and there's a famous photo of Rakim and I both holding up copies of the album, and I kind of, every time Rakim comes to town, I'm always, like hanging out with him and shit like that. I've known Ra and his manager Matt since 2007. We all met in Vegas when I was in law school. I was just about to graduate law school. That's the first time we met. During the pandemic, we brokered a deal with Fat Beats. And it was supposed to be for essentially 4 new songs and 3 remixes. The more and more we'd work on that project, the more it was developing into such greater than like the model with Fat Beats. We went from Premier's gonna produce to Knife Wonder to Pete Rock to Rakim's dibbling and dabbling on the production side to Jazzy Jeff, who he started touring with very consistently. And I can tell the world this: there will be a full-length Rakim and Jazzy Jeff album down the road. Ra's a perfectionist and obviously a master of his craft, so therefore you can't really put a timestamp on it. I didn't think it was going to take 3-4 years to make the Fat Beats project happen. So Fat Beats was being sold, and it just got to the point where one, the original owner was fed up with me. We have a lawsuit going on right now for this Capadonna's Two Bangers project that they've paid us $0 for, in light of the fact it's been like Capadonna's most viably commercially successful record in the past decade. And Rakim hadn't really turned in anything. So we ended up giving them the money back for that deal, or Rakim's management did. And then I stepped up to the plate like, look, I want this. I've always wanted this. This is like a dream come true for me. I don't want like whatever the Fat Beats deal is. I don't want 3-4 songs. I want to at least make an EP. So we agreed on Rakim producing the entire project. And it's Rakim's on every song. So for fans that are like, oh man, this is gonna be some bullshit, and it's not. It's amazing. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's the greatest accomplishment of my life, given the fact that my name's associated to acts like Eminem and Wu-Tang Clan and Redman and you name it, Tech 9, E40, the list goes on and on and on, DMX, if this Rakim shit really wasn't all that. I'm extremely proud of it. Ra literally, as of last night, just finished putting all his touches on how he wanted it specifically to be. And the world, will get that come July. But had it not been for the Ghostface record and, me really sitting down with them and selling them on, like, look, we don't have to play by old school rules where we have to ship 500,000 records and, really aim for the stars. We can make, I believe on the physical side of things, we're going to have 7,000 units. I expect those to sell in the first, 30 days. And then that's album for so long. Will live on forever. Okay. So we're going to do, there's going to be several different color vinyls. There's going to be 2 different versions of the CD with the audio is going to be the same. The artwork's going to be different. Cassette version, and that's that. The first verse with Corrupt and Master Killer. Rakim's rapping on the song. Rakim did the cuts. Rakim produced the beat. Other notable MCs on the shit. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. People are like, yo, you got 4 or 5 dead dudes on here. And I'm like, well, they're still legends. And they're still, everyone loved Rakim. And these were songs that were done organically and just, if it's not meeting Rakim's level of professionalism and bardom, it's not happening. So we got Prodigy, rest in peace. Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace. DMX, and just for those at home, DMX is not rapping. We have one of the last ever DMX recorded prayers on the project.
That was one of my questions. How did you get your hands on something like that?
I recorded it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Me and X worked heavy. Okay, listen. DMX's last ever Instagram post before he died was for me. My job was to offload the last of the tour merch. And that's what sustained the family while bank accounts were being frozen, shit like that, It wasn't until Kanye West stepped in with his Balenciaga DMX shirt, which, by the way, for anyone that knows DMX, he would have never worn that shit. DMX was never looking at Versace with my Balenciaga. DMX was like, give me a fucking Levi overall suit, and some Dickies and shit like that. That was X.
Tank top. He's all that.
Yeah. Fred the Godson's on the joint. It's okay. The best part about this, all the press that I've met with in the past couple weeks and played it for them, everyone picks a different favorite song, and that's what I love the most. That's what Rakim loves the most, because there was talks of us taking this one song off and replacing it, and I was like, well, this is this guy's favorite, and he's like, oh damn. All right. With that being said, we can't take that off. I'm like, no. So yeah, it's phenomenal, man. I cannot wait for the world to digest it. Like I said, I felt like I've put in a lot of work throughout the course of my career. We're 200 plus albums in, to get to where I earn the level of respect from Rakim to have his trust and faith and having me as the executive producer behind this product. And I love reading all the stories online and seeing what people are saying. And I saw a post on Underground Hip Hop. They're like, this is the guy that's making the Rakim album. And they posted a video of me rapping in the year 2001. They're like, he sucks. I'm like, the two have nothing to do with each other. How I used to rap 21 years ago and how I'm able to A&R and executive produce records in the present day are not one and the same. You people at home can't see it, but my Instagram people can see, for sure. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
So I was going to get into that. Your last podcast, you mentioned with your A&R stuff and the prices you put out for services you give, you sort of put together a resume of stuff.
Yeah, it's my working resume.
Now,
I edit it about 4 times a year, once a quarter.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite thing on that resume for those out there?
My favorite thing, I'll break it down to a couple categories. Me as the artist, probably breaking a Guinness World Record and doing it for charity, funding a school in Nigeria, because that move will never be replicated amongst any other artists. They talk about what rappers really bring to the table and how they build on the culture. Well, financing a school is a class act example of building on a hip hop culture.
That's awesome.
Thousands of students a year, ages, I'd say 6 or 7 through 18, go to the school. You can look it up online, bebor.org, BEBOR.org, in the Bebor River States of Nigeria. As an A&R, the Ghostface album is one of my greatest accomplishments because I fully funded that myself, like I did the Rakim record. And, it was a different time. In 2018 to 2024, M-80 are 2 different M-80s. But at the time, I had spent probably a quarter of my life's worth to make that record. And I had to, it's the equivalent of buying like 7 bricks and gram to gramming that shit off. Like,
yeah.
And I can make that analysis as a former success in the drug game.
That I didn't know about you.
Oh yeah, dude. I bought my first car with cash when I was 16. I was the only kid I knew in high school that had stacks. I had the brick phone, I had the pager. I did my thing.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Now,
I also did my
want
time.
to ask,
So
yeah,
a lot of people don't know that side of it either.
What side is that?
So
Time
oh no, I did time in Wabash Valley Correctional Facility.
Okay, I didn't know that either.
Someone asked me on my live, why not build a school in America? Because American can afford schools.
Exactly.
Okay?
They couldn't.
The fuck? Like, governments in America build schools in America, dude. When I was a senior in college, my senior seminar was on the African diaspora, and come to find out, to actually fund a school, it's around $12,000-13,000 American dollars. I'm looking down at my wrist while I'm taking notes with my right hand, looking down at my left hand. I'm like, damn, my watch costs more than that. And I'm currently wearing a watch that costs 5 times that. But like, I could do this. I could do something for charity and fund this school. And it's around 30 grand all in to build the roads, the irrigation, to the textbooks, the resources, the staffing. Like, to me, that was nothing. Like, I'm just going to rap for a really long period of time, and people are going to donate money, and at the end, I'm going to have a school. Like, it seemed like a no-brainer. And then, of course, everything in my life got better. Like, every time I get a show booking, it's for more money because I'm Wu-Tang, M-80, Billboard, M-80, I'm Guinness World Record, M-80. Every time I got booked for a feature, my feature price went up. That was the whole ethics behind that. This dude said LeBron built a school in Ohio. That's awesome. Yeah, go LeBron. He also has 400 times more than me. If I build another school, I'll build it in Toledo, since I'm also from Ohio. My next school is going to be in Toledo, Ohio. Mark my words.
Now, the Rakim and Jazzy Jeff, you said that's later this year or like within the next couple of years?
No, not later this year, dude. They're gonna, man. If it took me 4 years to get these 7 songs done, that shit should come before 2027.
Damn. Still,
I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm calling it.
I gotta mention something about 2024 is we're getting a lot of like dream collabs. And awesomeness. Yeah, we are.
Look at the first record I worked on that dropped this year. The Super Goat, Husk Kingpin and Knife Wonder. Every physical on the planet is sold out. You can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't buy the vinyl on Monday, good luck. I saw one person selling one on eBay for $200. That's it.
Sweet.
Yeah, one.
Not bad. You got that one. You got the Common and Pete Rock. You got Nas and Premier playing. They might drop one this year, supposedly. And my personal favorite is the one you're working on. Why? I know why. Not everybody knows why.
But I saw Pete at this. I saw Pete at the show, and I walked in. We were in the same dressing room, and I walked in. He was like, "What's up?" and dapped me up, and then realized it was me. And I was like, he looked at me like you snuck a dap from me. I'm like, motherfucker. But then when I asked him for a photo later, he was like, "Man, get the fuck out of my face." I'm like, "Pete, you don't want a photo of me? Pete, it's me. It's M-80." I knew he wasn't about shit. Like, I'm so we could.
I was watching that whole.
Everyone would have just stood around and watched. It would have been glorious.
I was following you when that whole issue was going on with him and cannabis and the
The
whole.
best part about the internet now is when, like, look, if you're a diehard M-80 fan, regardless if I do right or wrong, like, you're gonna ride with me.
Yeah.
If you're a diehard
Yeah.
Pete Rock fan, but during that shit, I converted so many Pete Rock fans because they're like, "Yo, Pete's just clearly lying." Like this dude pulling out fucking sign-offs and
You were
bank
posting
receipts
the
and
screenshots
like,
and everything. Yeah,
I converted every Pete Rock fan except like one that was like, "No, Pete, say it ain't so." Like, it was awesome.
But yeah, nonetheless, it's still gonna happen. Him and Common, we got Nas and
Yeah,
Primo.
that's
And
gonna be a dope
my
fucking record.
personal
I'll buy that
favorite
shit.
is my personal favorite is gonna be obviously you guys can see up there, Cannabis and Chino album.
Man, that ain't coming
I've
this
heard-
year, bro.
It's
I'm sorry, but fucking
You
Cannabis
just
is
broke my
eons,
heart. You just
he's
broke my
eons
heart.
behind, bro. He's just eons behind, dude. Like,
And I was gonna mention
it makes
that
no
'cause it's
sense.
like,
It makes
as
no
a
fucking
fan-
sense why he's behind.
as
And
a fan,
Chino's
when
just
you were talking
fucking
about it
lighting
last
up everything he
podcast,
touches.
he is. I love Chino.
Wait till you hear the Chino XL verse on Rakim.
I can't wait. I
Bro,
saw that both
it's
their
one of
names
the
featured on
craziest
the
verses
album.
in the
It's gonna
history
be
of
awesome.
rap. Yeah. Crooked Eye has a verse on the same song, and Rakim and Chino XL both were like, "This is a perfect verse." Like, I'm like, I've never heard anyone describe a verse as perfect, but it met all their criteria for an amazing verse.
I can't wait for this. How long the EP is gonna be? 7. It's usually 7 to 8, 9 songs.
It's 7 songs. Everything with the shit is 7. It's
Okay.
coming out. The Rebirth is seven letters. July is the 7th month. Rakim is the God MC, Supreme Mathematics 7. We're doing 7 drops between the vinyl, the digital, the CD, the cassette, the merch, the NFTs, and some other shit. So yeah, everything's 7.
That's amazing. You got 7 on your hat too. You represent.
Because if the 7 thing didn't matter, I could have easily taken like the DMX prayer and made it its own track, or like maybe split up a song here and there. But the theme has always been 7.
Are there going to be leftover tracks you guys release at a later date, or like?
No, but I am taking beats and a Rakim feature, and then we're selling that as something called the God Pack. So like when me and Anno do our beats and features packs, there's going to be, and also in July, it's going to drop July 12th. It's called the God Pack, where anyone at home can purchase a batch of Rakim beats and a verse to use for their project. And by the way, Rakim charged over $50,000 for a verse. I know an artist that you know by name that just paid him $100,000. So anyone now is going to have the opportunity to have these licensed beats and a feature for their project. For one of the NFTs, we have a one-of-one piece of Rakim artwork that he signed. We're going to have a Rakim beat that you will have exclusively, so only one person can buy it for their record. And maybe like an experiential thing, like a day in the studio with Rakim and you guys make a song together. But you know, we'll see about that. Like that's a hefty undertaking. I'm gonna need like 50 racks from someone for that one. At least 50. I think I'll let the Rakim beat go for like 10, 15,000. I'll probably let the NFT one-of-one piece of art go for $5,000 to $10,000. But there's and we got and the merch was the other thing I didn't mention in the 7. And there's a limited edition line of Rakim merch.
Okay, shirts, hats, the works.
No, not the works. Shirts, hoodies, hat.
Okay. All right, nice. Can you elaborate on the whole cannabis issues where he's eons behind, like what's going on? Can you like speak
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I don't know. I don't know how he occupies his time. All I know is that when we did the deal, I said, look, I can get us 100% of the money up front, which is unheard of, okay? When you sign, you get a piece of the advance. When you maybe turn in some deliverables, you get another piece. When you turn in all the deliverables, you get the balance. That's how advances work in rap. I got us 100% of the money. He's like, I'm going to block out these 2 weeks in July. Now, this was July last year. And knock out all these references. That didn't happen. It's just he lies, but hates being told he's a liar. Like I didn't lie. It's just it didn't work out that way. I'm like, dude, you got to understand. People in their words are both accountable. It's interchangeable shit. I'm only good at my job because I say what I can do and do what the fuck I say. That's it. If I tell Snoop I'm gonna bring you $200,000 in cash on Friday, but I'm like, oh, maybe like 10 Fridays from now, it's not the same. Granted, the money might come. It doesn't mean what it's supposed to mean then and there.
Excuse me.
So yeah, you get it. So it's like we're waiting on. I don't know. I've heard like 2 or 3 references from Cannabis, and it was supposed to be Biss and Chino talk every week, go over what songs they're each going to vocal, then do their respective vocals based off of this song's going to be like this because they live in 2 different places, and then we switch the references. Chino has done all of his obligations to this point in time, and Cannabis is just way fucking behind. And I don't know what's going on with him. Like, I got him paid to do promotions for his own record, the Slick, the Self-Looking Ice Cream Cone album, was just dropped on vinyl, and he took the money and didn't do the work. And it's like, yo, bro, there's not a lot of easier bags in the game than here's an amount of money that has a comma in it to make social media posts. That kind of shit.
That's it.
It doesn't really get much easier. So, ever since I've been working with Cannabis, dating back to 07, 08, he's always been 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I've done everything I can to put both feet back in the arena. Like, I didn't have to put him on the Rakim album. That's a fucking privilege, dude.
That's amazing.
I could call Eminem for that. I could call Kendrick Lamar for that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, why didn't you? I called in my Eminem favor recently for my artist Deezy in Australia. When Deezy's album drops, his debut album, I believe February 2025, Eminem did the intro. Like, he just doesn't do
that's
shit.
Amazing. Yeah, that's awesome.
So I could have clearly got Eminem on Rakim. Like,
yeah.
So I want people, I just wanted the motherfucker to be who I see him in my head. And when people ask me, why do you still even fuck with this dude? Because I wish he would just be who I want him to be, or how I grew up admiring him. I worked with him for so long. It's led me to believe that really he was the common denominator of all these problems. Like, you get paid for work, you do the work. It's that simple. That's what keeps the checks coming. That's why I'm never going to have to worry about clients or anything like that. As long as I deliver excellent albums, people will continue to pay me to make and deliver excellent albums. The minute I stop, I expect the checks to stop. So therefore, I don't anticipate stopping.
I was gonna say, do you have an end in sight, or are you just gonna keep going so you just know?
I could stop working now and be good for about the next 15, 20 years of my life, but I'm not going to. I mean, whether or not there's anything I ever do in my lifetime bigger than the Rakim project, okay, that's yet to be determined. But I'll still have clients like E40s and Tech Nines and Wu-Tangs and the likes that'll continue to drop gold and platinum fucking records. So I'm cool with that, I just got to get some bigger records. I need more hallways.
I saw on your last podcast, you mentioned LL was going to be on that album, the Chino and Cannabis one.
Dude,
now, is that even possible still, even if, let's say, everything comes back together?
It is possible. That's the whole thing. Like, I mean, I got Rakim on it. Amazing. Rakim is on their record. Like, there was 4 artists we picked. LL Cool J, Lupe Fiasco, Rakim, and maybe Tech Nine. It was either Tech Nine or More Technique. It was one of the 4 of those 5 names. We don't need any features on that project, but if we were to have them, those are the potential names. Yeah. Yes, we can call LL Cool J and be like, look, I mean, there's going to be a check involved. It's not just going to happen. We'll get the check. No problem. So I need Biss to be on top of his shit. Biss has a lot of outside distractions, and it's like, I can't name names and shit like that because I don't know any of these motherfuckers' names. But some of these people in his life need to let him be the star. Everyone keeps trying to latch on to his star power. That's not even fucking wow in the year 2024. But it's so much more wow than their star power, they can't help it. Like, fucking off everything I'm doing. None of these people were there when I built him back up. They weren't around for Kaiju. They weren't around for One Step Closer to Infinity. The woodworks comes all these motherfuckers. And then one by one, Biss has to realize that they're all full of shit and bring nothing to the table. But he's such a nice person, he gives them all the opportunity to show him that they're fucking retards. Yeah. I'm like, I know these people suck. Let them go, dude. Let them do their own shit. If you're going to do verses for them, get the bag. If you're going to do a show, get the bag. Like, he will put off doing shit that's beneficial to his career to help someone that doesn't know what to do with the benefit of having the guest artist attached to their shit. I, on the other hand, know exactly what you're supposed to do when a Rakim falls in your lap. Pause. When the opportunity to A&R a Wu-Tang project or executive producer Wu-Tang project or Corrupt project or Crooked Eye, I know what to do with these artists and these opportunities. People just want, they feel like, yo, I can do what M-80 does. No, the fuck you cannot. And even if you could, you wouldn't know what to do with it. That's the difference.
Nice. Last question. Oh, not last question. I'm sorry. Next question. How does it
Say
feel?
last question, my ass. I'm here for 37
No,
more.
definitely not. Just came out. I don't know why. One of the questions I did have is, how does it feel to be able to get done what Dr. Dre couldn't?
Thank you.
Huge. That's
Thank you.
huge.
So we gave the first interview with Rakim to Spin, and then the Rolling Stone after, and I'm like, did any of you ask that question? They're like, no. I'm like, see, they think I'm asking that out of like selfish reasons. I think that's a legit question to ask, and the answer is this: you've seen interviews with Rakim speaking on his time with Aftermath and Dre. And Dre, it wasn't like the beats were bad or anything. It's Dr. Dre. Come on, I bet that shit sounds amazing. One day I hope to hear everything that Rakim did with Dre. But for Dre to, and this is part of being executive producer, it's not just the money guy, it's not just the dude coordinating all the fucking shit and A&R and the shit, but for Dre to be like, I think this song should be about this, or I think, you should like, I didn't do that with Rod. I studied all the shit that Rod didn't like about what his time with Dre and did the exact opposite. Rod, the ball's in your court. And it made it easier when he's making the beats because one, I don't have to tell him what to rap about. You rap what you feel like rapping about. You made the soundscape. Like a lot of writers either write just to write or they only write when they hear an instrumental. Okay. Like later in my artist career, I became that way. I only wrote raps when I was listening to the beat. I didn't just have like free raps lying around. And Rakim doesn't have fucking just free raps lying around or old references or anything like that. So I did the exact opposite of Dre and just let Rob run his creative game. And that's the difference. Like, give me the freedom of my time, give me the freedom of creativity, give me the freedom of choice. And, I didn't waver like Fat Beats. It's been 3-4 years. Like, if we could just get our money back, I think Matt Kemp gave him the money back like a fucking week or month later. Like, sure, you want it, no problem. Like, I was as patient gets. I say I practice Gandhi like patience with Rakim. And now the world will benefit from it, dude. And I'm happy that it's a 7-song EP because it clocks in at about 34 minutes. And that's short enough to listen to it once, love it, go back, listen to it again and again and again and again and not get tired of it. We're not going to drown you out with 20 Rakim songs. You will be digesting those 7 for weeks until you're like, yo, this is the best shit. Like, you're not going to listen to it once. It's the greatest album of the year. But you will come to that determination by year's end when it counts. And I guarantee you we get a couple Grammy noms out of it.
Well, that'd be awesome. That'd be huge.
Indeed. That's what hip-hop deserves.
When an album like this getting put together and you got the features and everybody coming through.
Yes.
I like
I tried to apply the same ethics as I did for the Ghostface record. With Ghostface, I picked all the beats, sent the beats to Ghost. These are what I need you to vocal. He vocals first, lays the blueprint. Now I'm going to get Snoop and E40 and Sheik Luch and Raekwon and La the Dark Man and Priest and Bishop Lamont and the Who's Who and put it all together. Then go back to Ghost. Here's what I did. Ghost, there was, I think, one person on that entire project who told me to take off. And it wasn't for like any retarded, I'll fuck this person. Ghost did a verse for them. They did a verse for Ghost Project, then asked for another verse from Ghost. And Ghost's like, I did the shit for them first. So if they're expecting me to verse swap them, I already did that shit. I'm not doing it. Take them off. That was it.
Now, when those features happen, do you guys get together in the studio? You guys have a session, or is it just like send me over
it's within my means to be there? Yes. So like when I got Tricky on the Ghostface album, and for those of you who aren't familiar with Tricky, like that's one of my favorite artists of all time from the United Kingdom. Like I went to a Tricky concert in San Francisco. We didn't get to meet, but I met his manager. He was on tour for the next like 30 days. He was able to record on his tour bus. I was not at the session with Snoop and 40. I was, however, at the sessions with like Priest and Bishop Lamont and Asia and Husk Kingpin and I think Master Killer. So like, who's who of it. If I can be there, sure, but I'm not going to go like get on a plane from Los Angeles and go to New York just to sit in the studio for an hour and fly home. Follow me? Yeah. Now, the craziest shit was if my daughter's birthday wasn't tomorrow, or her birthday party's tomorrow, her birthday's on Sunday. There is a private listening party happening right now in New York. Invite only. And I was on the invite list to hear Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
Wow.
Before it goes to the museum in Australia. I was invited. I even got offered several $1,000s to attend. So trust me, I would have loved to go get that bag, but instead I called Capadonna.
That's amazing.
I said, Cap, go. He's like, how much money? He's like, shut the fuck up. I'm getting paid this just to go there. I'm like, yep. And I believe he's there right now. He'll probably call and thank me later.
Nice. That's
Hercules, what does it do?
What's up,
You know my man Hercules in Canada? He's on tour right now.
I heard Hercules. I heard plenty of songs.
Yep. He's on tour with Snoop and Corrupt.
I do like him.
Quick and Warren G. Yep. Shout out to Canada.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I think did he recently tour with Jordan Lucas, I believe, right? Was that recent?
I'm not a huge Jordan Lucas fan.
No,
I was when he first came out. Before all the songs that were like, this is me rapping from the perspective of an ant that checks out the sand. Like, this is me.
That's pretty funny.
What do white people think of when they see a black man? Like, you know, I'm like, okay, dude, you're really overthinking this shit. Just spit your rhymes. But
I did like a lot of his early stuff was definitely good. I definitely liked it.
I met him a couple times. I liked him. And then I just couldn't subscribe to all the shit. I know he can rhyme.
Yeah, definitely can.
Yeah.
Well, one last tidbit on the Cannabis Chino album.
Sure.
I was just
dude, if I could get it out before the end of the year, I will. But when I call cannabis now, I mean, I don't think I can help that situation. I think Art, who's in charge of the label, has to be in constant communication with them and be like, or Chino, you know. But we're like, Chino has his own life, dude. Chino, we got a Chino record that's tentatively ready to drop 7/7. And that's like a Sunday, but that's the day he wants to drop it. So that's called Darkness and Other Colors, I believe. And that's fully produced by Back Gun.
He is on a roll because that's not including the just announced Stu Banger's God's Carpenter 2, I think is what it's called. I could be wrong, but it might go.
They're doing a second God's Carpenter 2?
I think it's called that. I saw the post the other day. So I can't wait for that one either. The first one was really good. Loved it.
I'm going to make sure they kick me back 95%. I'm just kidding. That God's Carpenter one.
Yeah, for that, the Cannabis Chino one, I wanted selfishly a K Reno just verse. If he was the only one on there, I would have been, definitely happy.
Doing all those songs with K Reno, that was because of a guy named the Architect in Florida. And the Architect was another example of a problem, someone that was just overstepping his boundaries. He's someone we hired to be our mixing and mastering engineer. And then like, I want to do what he does. I want to make the albums. To the point where he tried to convince Cannabis to not work with me. And I'm like, bro, you only know Cannabis because of me. So with this, like I said, I let him go through the motions. Like, I'm not going to argue for my fucking position. Maybe if I was talking to Snoop, I would, or fucking, I mean, come on, there's got to be a hierarchy of importance for artists.
Definitely.
I'm not going to act like it's not. But I'm not doing that shit with Cannabis. Like, dude, all the money I made that dude in 2022, he went and made his family good. Like, that was the year. He wanted to go back into the normal man's workforce and not do any of the rap shit. I'm like, and see, that's how I know that money isn't a thing to him, because I said, what do you make for a living? It's your job. Quit your job, and I'll pay you that as a salary just to rap. Plus, we should make at least ×3 that, and we did. The first year, he made like ×3.2 that amount of money. So I wasn't like by any means like just holding him down like to cover his bills and shit. Like, he was living. I would still do that. He did one album if I had the work ethic I thought that he could give me, like proving that it was going to make money or be worth my time. Like, whatever he's going through right now or putting me through is some fucking bullshit. Like, even if he would have done a verse every month, he'd still be behind. One verse a month, and we're still behind. So that's the kind of work ethic I'm getting from him. Think about it this way: we finished the entire Kaiju album in 1 month. The entire One Step Closer to Infinity in 1 month. That's 30 days. He's done like 3 verses for the shit with Chino, 4 verses maybe in 11 months. Like, so
that was the year 22, right?
Yeah, you can't. I don't care if your fucking every member of your family died and your house blew up and whatever. There's too many excuses there. Like, that's crazy. Like, you are a rap artist. You have a studio literally where you live. You don't have to go anywhere. Go make your fucking raps. So he must be just letting 1,000,001 things distract him right now from actually getting the job done. And I don't have time to stand for that shit.
That's understandable. You got to get stuff done. You got contracts out.
To date, the Horseman album's the only album I announced ever that I never thought was going to happen. I'm like, that's going to be the black mark on my resume. But then 20 years later, that should happen. Well, we don't have 20 years to wait now. I'm not fucking waiting 20 years for a Canvas Cheeto record.
We definitely, me as
No,
fans,
I'm not waiting past 2025, to be honest.
Yeah, we need that. We got to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, also congrats on the Dog Pound album. That one just came out and it's doing well. That actually
they did that shit. And look, perfect example. That album's phenomenal, and that was recorded in a week.
The whole album?
Yeah.
A whole week.
It was the equivalent of like 7 studio sessions, dude. Maybe 6.
That's amazing.
What does
that consist of? Like, is it like all day thing?
Yeah, Snoop's got the damn compound. You got Studio A, Studio B. In fact, after Snoop and DMX did that Versus, DMX stayed for like 2 weeks and did Exodus in Studio B the whole time. He's the first person to ever smoke cigarettes at Snoop's shit. Like, and not go outside and just sit there smoking and like, yo, they frown upon that.
Yeah. That was my favorite.
I'm a cigarette smoker myself, so I get it, but pretty wild. You got any questions from the people at home?
Do we? Let's see.
Is there anyone like, hey, tell me to go fuck himself?
I haven't checked my phone yet.
I will after this. I will fuck off into the oblivions.
So I would assume you've been on tour with some of these guys that you've worked with.
All of them.
What's your favorite spot you would have been to? You've been to?
What's my favorite what?
Your favorite spot, like, venue or city or country?
Oh, Salt Lake City, Utah, Austin, really? Texas. Yeah, and it has nothing to do with rap. It's because of how many girls suck my cock at the same time, like 3 or 4 at a time. It's pretty awesome. Salt Lake City. I found out like I'm a legend there. I did a show opening up for Planet Asia. We were on tour, the Black Belt Theater tour, and like more people like came from my set than Asia's. And then this label the next day brought me to the studio to give me like $4,000 to do verses with some of their artists. And, like had a lot of nice ladies. And I was like, I feel like a fucking king. And they brought me back for years, like every 6-7 months. And I was just picking up. I'd go to Salt Lake City and come home 5-6 G's richer in a 24-40 hour span, with my big smile on my face and just meet new lovely ladies. All the Mormons love them some Jew. Yeah. Love them some Jewish action.
How about internationally?
How
about internationally? Your favorite spot? You've been anywhere internationally?
London. I would live in London. All my experiences in the United Kingdom have been phenomenal. The first time I ever performed overseas was in Switzerland. That was pretty badass. I was rapping with after I broke the Guinness World Record, I was rapping with all these other like famous freestyle dudes, but I was the only dude rapping in English. So like in overseas, we're in a crowd where like English isn't the primary language. So like when I'm like saying some ill shit, I'm like waiting for the reaction and not getting it. But when someone's like, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
What just happened? What did I miss?
They were probably just making fun of me the whole time.
Hey, you never know.
White guy. Yeah, I'm sitting there like all these dudes should be bowing down to me. I'm the Guinness World Record holder. These dudes are, but no, it was not like that at all. They're looking at me like, you fucking American scum. It's awesome. United Kingdom. I love going there, whether it's just to be there to chill or like be there to work. I've been there with Wu-Tang and Mobb Deep and shit. And, it's awesome, man.
Now, I did notice in your last podcast, you mentioned something about Snoop getting a deal with some people or group or person in Kazakhstan. I
brokered for the largest female pop group. Their name is Kesh U, a feature and video with Snoop. Now Snoop, like they came over from Kazakhstan, afterwards the people in Kazakhstan, like the parliament, like took me out to lunch and Beverly Hills. Like it's like the biggest honor, in our country's ever known. And Snoop has a show coming, like Snoop's on tour in Canada right now, but has a show in America on the 15th, and like they're flying in to perform with him. Like they're going to do that song in front of the sold out crowd, and just like strengthen that bond in the relationship. But it's a really big deal, and I put Snoop on records that have gone platinum in Bulgaria and I think in Germany or Switzerland or shit. So it's like I've done my due there,
Now, for those such songs, does it help Snoop to like understand what they're saying, so he knows the theme of the song or the track, or he just hears the beat and just goes in?
Nope. He definitely wants to be as in the know as possible. So Snoop's part on that song is in English. The rest is not. So we had to have the translation and beyond just the translation, like what's the overall theme of the song and really understand it that way to get the best vocal contributions out of Dog or whoever the student guest artist is when you're dealing with exclusive features.
Yeah.
You want to use the guest artist essentially as an instrument to the track. And really make it go that way. Like I said, my new neighbors are just watching me through the window right now, like seeing me talk to watching me talk to a telephone and a computer. Like this literally guy's been staring at me for 20 minutes. He has not moved. Yeah, hey, gang.
You mentioned UK over there.
Yeah.
I want to visit their hip hop areas because they love our underground hip hop.
Yep.
More than we love it over here in the States. And I just want to go over there, just go to a couple shows and enjoy the culture because they love it more than we love it here in the US.
Do. And like I said, like say Wu-Tang, this is before Wu-Tang did the tour with Nas and Busta Rhymes and Nas and De La Soul. But then you might catch Wu-Tang at like an 8,000 cap room or smaller. But when you go overseas, that's where the real heads are. So they're playing 20,000 plus every night. Those festivals are for 100,000 plus people. That's an example of them really feeling the love.
No,
so
awesome.
I think that applies, like even for an artist just getting started. If you're a promoting event, we have this upcoming dude coming from America. Like clearly, it's worth checking out because otherwise, how the fuck would you be getting over there?
Exactly. And I just saw the Beatnuts are going on tour in Australia. It's like
my artist DZ is going to do the Brisbane date, and then Onyx is going on tour in Australia as well. They're always on tour over the world, but DZ is going to do the Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne date, and he has a new EP dropping June 14th.
We need some dates in America so we all can go see that. That's kind of far. Yeah. we need to show more love to underground hip hop. We definitely need that because that's the best hip hop around.
Yep.
Especially with nowadays. I did see that you have tickets to the Nas show in Vegas.
Oh, hell yeah! Tickets. See, that's a good example.
A little bit jealous about that one.
I'm going as a fan. I could call DJ Green Lantern and be like, put me on the guest list, but it's not just a Nas show. It's Nas with the philanthropic or Philharmonic Orchestra. Sorry, I said Philharmonic. So that's a big deal. You don't know, like sometimes when Wu-Tang goes on tour, like it's not just an average Wu-Tang show. It's like you should buy tickets to that shit. So I bought tickets. I'm in the second row. Like I want to experience that shit from a fan perspective. And I know it's not the first time he's done that with the orchestra, but it's like I've never seen it live. I've seen it on television and DVD shit. So I love any excuse at all to go to Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas. I gotta put that on my
list.
Very
nice. It's very, very nice. All the ladies are really nice. Very nice.
Was it a couple miles south? Was the Bunny Ranch? But that's another story.
I've been to Vegas 100 times and never done that. I think that's far.
I just hear the stories. Yeah, I just hear the stories and read it online. That's it. What else can we expect for 2024 for M-80 and Holy Toledo Productions, your record company? And you can drop the news on.
So for me and Adrian, we got the Rakim pack coming in July. We got the Bone pack dropping this month. We have a Trust Records versus Griselda Records Beats and Features pack. That's big. We got the Icon 6-pack. So we got our packs all planned out for the rest of the year. I got more records coming. Hopefully that also won't be ready by the end of this year. I know it. Husk moved to Brazil, but we're coming off the success of Husk Kingpin and Knife Wonder. We have the Corrupt and Husk Kingpin album, the Meet the Kingpins. I will do my best to see if I can get Chino and Cannabis out 2024. If not, then that'll wait till 2025, and I'll release the Cannabis album produced by Madlib and Oh No. Definitely new records from Planet Asia. Yeah, man,
that's amazing.
That sounds about like it. I just want to ride the Rakim wave, until I feel like chilling. Like,
I do have a question for a fan watching.
So I'm definitely not rushing it. And a lot of people are coming to me now like, yo, we need to work. We need to like that. Were never hitting me for work before. And I told them, you got to at least wait until like the end of August because I've spent my whole life to get to this point in time. And I'm not trying to act like you're more important. I'm not to be disrespectful to whoever I'm talking to, but this is the most important shit to me. You know,
Priorities.
the only verse that
Priorities.
Cannabis did like
Priorities.
that for me was his verse on the Rakim record, which, by the way, was like 4 minutes long. Rakim was cracking up. I ended up cutting
No
it.
way.
I ended up cutting it to like a minute and a half, or maybe, but it
Gotta
was
show
like
out.
4 fucking minutes. Cannabis was doing his Eminem shit where he had like 8 different voices. I'm like, yo, bro, come on, stop.
God.
You know, we don't need all the voices.
I do have a question from a person that's watching. He says, ask M-80 who his favorite Jewish rapper is. I think you said something about you Jewish.
Oh, that's an easy answer. It's the King Ad Rock.
The King Ad Rock. That's his name, Ad Rock.
Beastie Boys.
Oh, Beastie Boys. Okay, gotcha.
Ad Rock from Beastie Boys is my favorite Jewish rapper, and also
Shout
one of
out
my
to
favorite
James
rappers.
watching.
For those of you watching
So,
on my Instagram, this is E Nice, who I'm talking to. If anyone, I think people think I'm just having a conversation with myself in my office. Like
Appreciate
irrespective
you
of
guys tuning in.
All right.
Now, do you have artists all over the states? I'm assuming. Do you
Yes.
have
In worldwide.
any like? Cause I'm from CT, and do you have any in the CT area or looking
Chris
at anybody
Webby?
from the CT area?
I was the first. I was
I
the
know
first A&R
Webby,
to ever get Chris Webby a paid feature.
Really?
Yep.
Webby's
Dude,
nice. I do like Chris Webby.
Yeah, I like Chris Webby very, very much. Chris Webby owns 2 pieces from the M-80 household. He has my Sopranos piece, fully signed by the entire cast, minus his mom. And he has my Breaking Bad piece that's signed by like the main cast members.
I love Breaking
But
Bad.
I tried to get Chris signed to BMG. The deal did not go through. BMG wanted him very badly. And I think if he would have taken the deal, we'd be hearing more Chris Webby records on mainstream radio. But Chris, is good with his independent grind, and he tours consistently. And I've really watched that dude blow up from, say doing like $1,500 shows to $15,000 shows. And he's
That's
a great,
amazing.
good guy.
Shout out Chris Webby, man. That's awesome. We also got Apathy out here. A couple other local guys that I like personally. Mike Nash, Real ID. Whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of local acts out here. You got any advice for somebody that's up and coming from, doesn't have to be Connecticut, but from anywhere?
It's funny because my answer is self-serving. Any artist that's up and coming that has $500 should hire me for a consultation. Let me explain to you why. The $500 will give you eons of game. You pay me for the $500 consultation. I send you this pre-consult Q&A. You fill it out. I spend about a week literally crafting a program for you to follow, specifically crafted for you. Now, if you end up hiring me in the course of a year thereafter, I deduct the $500 from whatever service you're hiring me for, like album construction, legal, label and distribution, shopping, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The point is, if you don't hire me, though, which, by the way, about 90% of the people who get the consults don't because they can't afford me. But the point is, you're making more money. You're releasing greater bodies of product. You're seeing more revenue from streaming. You're getting more subscribers on your streams, which is the whole point. That's what you're supposed to do. And labels start to pay attention. You're building a fan base. You're becoming more organic in the actual business of music versus just like, I make great raps and I'm the greatest, but people don't fuck with me. It's because people just avail themselves to how great their music is. There's so much more to making the music. The best advice I can give to an independent artist is hire me for a consultation and have a real professional that has all the accolades in the world to give you proper advice, guide you on where you're supposed to be going. And again, these programs I craft for each individual artist are exactly that, done for you. I don't do a consult with, Jimmy down the block and take fucking Billy's note sheet. Okay, you need to do this. It's specific to you. That's the best advice I can give. You don't have to spend money with me, but you do in your careers have to spend money. So please be more than just someone who can write and record great rhymes. That's my starting advice.
That's awesome. If you guys out there listening, re-listening to this later on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, wherever it is, take that advice if you're a local artist. And when you're not dealing with music and family time, what are you doing? What do you get into? What's your hobbies and stuff like that?
I like going to a lot of sporting events at Staples Center, crypto.com now. I go to as many LA Kings games and shit like that as I can. Hockey games. I like.
That's your go-to, hockey?
I love going to hockey games, yeah. Before the Lakers got LeBron, I used to treat friends to like the suite on a couple times a month basis. Like me, Priest, and Huss, and Asia, and all them would go. and just have a good time. And like we'd know all the people, they'd bring us like a free bottle of like vodka or Jameson or some shit.
Nice.
I like hanging out with friends, man. It's very far and few that I get to do that now because everything is work. And when I'm not working, it's family time. Like who's cool to hang out with my young daughter, dude? You know, she's cooler than my wife.
That's what I say about my kids.
You know, I love
tell her that.
I love being a family man, and the whole point is it has not yet affected my work. I'm like the last 5 years, every year has been my best year. Then we move on to the next year, and that year's better than the last. So it's like I'm riding this wave of just like killing shit, and nothing's phasing me. And you know, people have been hating on me my whole life, and it's gotten to the point where like I'm 42, going on 43. So some of you are 40, give or take. Like you got to come to the point where you decide, hey, I'm going to stop the hate, and now I'm going to start living for me. So I feel like a lot of these people have spent so much time trying to bring me down that they've forgot to accomplish shit in their own lives. And here I am, like, yeah, I know you guys exist, but I'm just going to ride out.
Yeah. Now you work with so many people over the years, since forever. Who's your favorites? Your favorite MCs?
Redman is my favorite MC of all time. Because he was the first artist I ever listened to that really had personality and humor, and plus the bars were insane. So I like that because everyone's so fucking tough, you know. And Priest used to be in my top 5 before we fell out. Working with Rakim is a dream come true that I'll never ever take for granted. Like I love Ghostface, and me and him go back and forth on shit all the time because he's another example of he knows all the business we've done together is fucking on the up and up and righteous, but he's got all these other people that are like, you know, you don't need M-80, he's shit. And it's like,
what
have these fuckers ever done for you? Besides leech off. Like a lot of these people in Ghost gear, if Ghostface didn't exist, they'd be nothing. Like who would you be without Ghost? I would still be me. If you remove any one person from my artist shit, I'm still M-80.
Yeah.
Like, but that's the whole point. Like, that's why I built my company that way. A lot of these people that were with Wu-Tang that want to be part of Wu-Tang, like as an artist, as a Killer Bee, never envisioned what life would be like if that plan A didn't pan out. So I always, even though I came through Wu-Tang as my family, always knew I was going to expand out. And I wanted to, you know, I'm not talking about me as an artist. Even then I was working with all sorts of other people. But I provide A&R services, label services, things of that nature. I was going to law school. I'm not meant to just serve one master. Like, I got the shit that everyone needs, so talk to me.
Yep.
People like a lot of, he's a click hopper, he's this. Like, bro, do you know how grateful I am to have some kind of knowledge or skill set that everyone needs? Like when DMX personally calls me, like, you're gonna be my guy. Like after meeting me for the first time, like you're part of us, you're with us now. Or like Rakim, like, yo, I've seen the press for the record's been so crazy. I'm like whatever you need. Like in our contract, he was only obligated to do like 5 or 6 of the most key interviews. Now we're really gonna ride out with this shit. So I don't have to be like we turned down Drink Champs, you know. We've turned down a bunch of shit, but the shit that makes the most sense is definitely gonna get done. I'm glad to have his support on the record. GZA's always been one of my all-time favorites because of the lyricism. The funniest thing is, Priest used to tell me that GZA was the funniest person he knew in real life, and I cannot recall one time that GZA's ever made me laugh. So I'm like, you can see different sides of people depending on who they're with and maybe how they feel comfortable. Yeah. You know, like I've seen Redman be absolutely hilarious around me, and then I've seen him be, you know, like the exact opposite to someone else. So it's like people have 1,000,001 stories like that with Tupac.
Yeah.
So, you know, those are essentially rounding up my top 5 there. You know, you're
I can appreciate
that. From someone I don't know so well, but I've had several encounters with. Scarface has always been at the top of the game for me.
Dope artist. I love Scarface. How often are you getting hit up for A&R stuff, info, you know, actual services?
I get over 100 emails a day for work related things, and 3 of them a day, maybe 2, are actual money. The other 97, 98 are just like, people do that though. You have to understand, we're in a social media world now, so it's like people hit my DM like, yo, fam, let's go, let's work, and then I'll send them my packet. They just want to tell people, oh, I've been talking to M-80. Like, okay, that's what it is. So respect to the people that hit me actually coming through, and people know I'm a super dickhead, because imagine if by the time I get to you, whether I think you're actually coming with it or not, like you're being real, you got bread to spend with me, I've already talked to 90 people in the day that aren't. So of course I'm going to be an asshole. Make me not be an asshole. That's your job. It's part of your payment. Like, I'm for real. In fact, here's the bread right now. Like, dude, sometimes I just wake up in the morning and there's like Cash Apps and PayPals and Zells and shit. And I'm like, I have no idea where this money came from. And then I got to figure it out.
How do you stay so organized with all that shit happening? That's got to be.
Honestly, I don't write shit down. I started keeping more notes in my phone, but I used to only write something down if it was money. So like my friend's mom's sitting down with me one time where I'm in their house, and I get this call and the guy's just talking, and she's like, I hang up and she's like, you didn't write any of that down. I'm like, he's not for real. She's like, you just entertain him the whole time. Well, you just entertain him. He's not for real. Like I'll put the pen to the paper and make some shit happen when I see some money.
Yeah.
What up, John?
Everybody on YouTube, Facebook, appreciate you guys checking in. I love it. It's awesome.
So when does this air? Like I finish and then it automatically airs?
Right now it's live on Facebook and YouTube, so that'll automatically be uploaded.
Ooh, make sure for those just tuning in on Instagram that you watch a hefty podcast with E Nice on YouTube. It's live now, but when I finish, then it will like do its thing.
It'll do the behind the scenes work. We don't know how it works.
It does the buffering. That's what the was.
Yeah, exactly.
It does the buffering, and then you can watch it in whole, just like the Sam Buck podcast I did.
The audio is automatically up on Spotify, iTunes. You got all those iHeartRadio podcasts, all that stuff. Automatically uploaded, so that's awesome.
Yep.
All right, before we head out of here, anything last advice for all the local artists out there? Again, before we go, I appreciate you taking the time. Give me this interview. It's awesome.
Don't make raps. Don't make raps. Don't make songs and just sit on them. Make something, get it out. Make something, get it out. That's what it is. If you have the ability to record every week, drop something once a week. Drop a single. If you have the ability to shoot a video once a month, drop it. Just keep putting this shit out because that's what gets people to start talking. Like there's 10,000 A&Rs. My name comes up in the conversation more times than not because I'm actively putting myself out there. This is who I am. This is my background. This is my resume. This is what I'm working on now, what I've worked on in the past. I am in your fucking face with it. So many other people are so behind the scenes because that's what our positions are. A&Rs, executives behind the scenes. They don't know who to turn to when they're in need of some of the services I offer. I'm here telling you, I'm the one-stop shop. You can't go wrong. Okay? Doesn't work out for everybody. So, yeah.
Before we sign off, what's the best / coolest story you ever been a part that you are able to tell us?
What's the best?
That like the the best, you went to a party, you saw this happen, or you went somewhere else and this happened. It was crazy that not a lot of people know. That you could tell us. I know a lot of stuff is top. Secret stuff,
my wife doesn't care. She knows all the shit's pre her.
Two artists fighting.
It's not the coolest thing. It's just the first thing that pops into my mind. I went to a party at Andre Agassi's house one time. That's my brother's favorite tennis player.
That's so random.
So I'm like, dude, Steve, I'm going to Andre Agassi's house. I'm gonna call you as soon as I get there. Oh shit, my shit's gonna go to. Oh man, if you're watching on Instagram, you gotta tune in to hear this on YouTube because it's gonna cut off. I'm just gonna hang them down. Sorry, Instagram, you don't get to hear the end of the story. So go to Andre Agassi's house, and there's no Andre Agassi. I'm like, there's like hundreds of people with no Andre Agassi. I'm like, where is he? Like, oh, he's in Germany with Steffi Graf. I'm like, okay. So who's hosting this party? They're like, Duran Duran. I'm like, the band Duran Duran is? And it was awesome. And there's photos of me naked in Andre Agassi's kitchen with two girls wrapped around me with a glass of wine in one hand and a whole steak in the other. Like we completely raided the fucking wine cellar. Duran Duran was using his house as a rehearsal studio in exchange for playing some event for Andre and Steph. These two girls hop in the pool and get naked, and they hop in the pool naked, and then I'm like, I'm in there. And I'm holding up by the diving board and let these ladies have their way with my greatness. And I think that was the first time I ever tried to eat a chick's box underwater. Don't do that. You'll die. So I'm still alive. Thank God. Thank God. All right.
Advice, funny story, and life advice. Life advice.
Yeah, we're like, don't do that. And then it's like everyone's just standing there watching, and I'm like, as then more and more chicks are jumping in the pool, and that's when dudes are like, fuck it. Then I get out, and I'm just like, this is wild. But that was pretty fucking wild. Crazy times at Andre
That's
X's
awesome,
house.
man. So again, M-80, man, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time you're giving me.
You got it.
Look forward to the rest of 2024. Hopefully all these albums come out. Can't wait for the Rakim, July 26, 27.
Appreciate your time, buddy.
All right, man. Take care.
Hey, what's your Instagram handle?
It's eNice860.
Yeah. Thank you all at home.
I appreciate that. Signing
Peace.
out. Later. Thank you.